From Richard Willems. Sent, Friday, February 20, 2009. Subject, regarding article by Clyde Winters on M1 in the International Journal of Human Genetics, 2008. Total rubbish. I wrote a report in 2007 about a similar manuscript he tried to get published in a high-quality genetics journal. I cannot give you that manuscript to quote because although a referee can make his opinion public, he or she has no liberty to distribute the manuscript under discussion. Therefore, from a strictly scientific point of view, you have my opinion on his prior writings, but not the manuscript itself. This general conclusion might sound rude, but my opinion is that the writings by Dr. C. A. Winters cannot be considered as science. Dr. Winters made himself known in scientific literature as a supposed linguist, who claimed that Dravidian languages and their carriers migrated relatively recently, from Africa to India, based on his opinion that there is linguistic similarity of Dravidian, with some sub-Saharan African linguistic groups. I asked several different linguists, among them world-leading specialists, and they rejected this hypothesis unanimously. Now Dr. Winters attempts an approach from another side, trying to reinterpret phylogeny and phylogeography of human mtDNA lineages and to show that the two groups of highly competent geneticists' papers, that of A. M. Gonzalez et al., and by A. Olivieri et al., dealing with the origin of M1, are wrong where they conclude that mtDNA haplogroup M1 has arisen outside Africa and migrated back to Africa later on. It is not the first attempt of Dr. Winters to leave a signature in a scholarly journal. Recently, he succeeded in publishing a reply in Bioessays, and though a short response of the authors made it clear where his mistake was, he just did not know that the nomenclature of haplogroup M lineages had been changed already more than 8 years ago. He comes now again and insists that his supposed interpretation, this time of a typology of a phylogenetic tree, is correct and everybody else is wrong. The problem is that Dr. Winters lacks the basic education in phylogenetics and in population genetics in general, and though the text seemingly has lots of references to published professional papers, his speculations are primitive. Dr. Winters claimed that haplogroup M1 was not absent from India and continued on sentence after sentence, with totally incompetent reasoning, not even remotely scientific in its true sense. Out of the context of this criticism, it would have been indeed very nice to find M1 in India, but the fact is that among almost 12,000 Indian mtDNAs screened so far, M1 was still missing. Hence, even if one M1 had been found in India now, its frequency would be below 0.01%, not really a figure to be used in any phylogeographic reasoning. I can certainly extend this list of critical remarks considerably, because hardly any sentence devoted to mtDNA genetics in the writings by Dr. Winters is scientifically valid. I have, in my professional life, reviewed quite a few articles, but I cannot recall any like this. First time, I am at loss to say anything constructive about the author, because the only thing to say would be, please take a university course on human population genetics. Sincerely, Dr. Richard Willems, M.D.
Of course, his Sierra Leone claim is exactly the same. One person of Mande descent in a region of Sierra Leone, right next to Liberia, where African-American expatriates, many with Native American ancestry, moved. These rare occurrences, like the one Maya Indian, are not trends, not evidence of ancestral populations, but of rare mixing because of recent migrations.
Here you can see in a sense that many Maya also carry the O blood type. This O blood type represents 90 to 100% of the Amerindians. And if you look at this map, you can see that as much as 70 to 90% of Africans also carry this type of blood.
And of course, everyone is supposed to ignore that Siberia has the same amount of O blood type as Africa, and all genetics point to them as ancestors to Native Americans, not Africans.
Here you see an article. This article makes it clear that many of the Nawa and the Mishe carry an African gene.
Clyde tries to give importance to post-colonial admixture, but fails to make note of what the study is really showing. Multiple indigenous groups with no African admixture. The Wishel, the Purepesha, the Tarahumara, the Sasil, the Mixtec, the Sapotec, the Tulapanek, yet they do not fit the description of what a Mayan should look like according to Clyde.
The Maya and Olmec do not look alike. As you can look in these pictures, you can see that there's no resemblance between the classical Maya and the Olmec.
I find it amusing that Clyde will quote this version of Diego de Landa's book on the Mayans of the Yucatan, yet will ignore the broad-faced artwork on the cover, which is based on artwork such as this one. The Maya are not one ethnic group, but multiple ethnic groups, with multiple looks.
The Olmecs were an African people, and they demonstrated very vividly in this photograph.
This is the Shamar vase. None of the people depicted are African. They are using body paint for the funeral ritual. Quoting Ellen Danian, research associate at the University of Pennsylvania Museum of Archaeology and Anthropology.
Reading the scene from left to right, the first two figures, cotton, chubby, yellow, or precious, turkey, and the whole tab, ball lamb, forehead, or headband, jaguar, have no central role in the proceedings. The name of the third figure is Bas Chanam, which can be read as Rapper of the Harvest. The black painted figure next to Bas Chanam is Kanti Pop, Lord Spearhead. The glyphs accompanying the kneeling figure have a more enigmatic meaning. Chamosaka, Waksak, Hobsus, can be understood as Lord Puma, he who has ruled for 8 years, Sedum, or it, in place, with the final glyph meaning blood, or purifying. The glyphs before the commanding figure of the black painted man holding the spear read Achmakab Pop Muan, Lord Owl, or Lord Muan, entered the earth. The final figure is Katanmu, Chakacha, young Lord Yellow Macaw. The important event being commemorated is the funeral, or the entering the earth, of Lord Muan. His heir, the young lord, is behind him, observing the ceremonies. The phrase Charak, Aha, literally, young sprout, is frequently used to identify the heir apparent. Among the attendants on the vase is the person who dresses the dead, Bastayam, the rapper of the harvest. Such a description of his function reinforces the argument made by Marshall Becker, 1992, that interment of the dead for the lowland Maya was not burial, but rather, an offering to the Earth Lord. Kanti Pop, Lord Spearhead, is a central participant in the ceremony surrounding this offering. The kneeling figure, Lord Puma, is about to be sacrificed as part of the purification ritual in connection with Lord Muan's funerary ceremonies. The sacrificial paper earrings he wears, his lack of other ornament, his position under the blade, all point to his imminent sacrifice. The mat design on his thigh and arm identify him as a member of the elite class. When captives are shown on lowland monuments, they are usually identified by their name glyphs on their bodies.
So, as one can easily see that the body paint is being used because of the funerary element of the event, and that the son of the Lord, with the spear, is right behind him. The son is not black, and neither is the Lord Muan, who obviously has unpainted feet and hands.